Hi, my name is Monika Walker, and I'm here today with John Sweetnam of Coaching Navigator, continuing a conversation about his new program, Conflict Evolution. And we talked last week about, what was it we talked about? We talked about energy, that's right.
Yeah.
About energy and how having a certain amount of energy within ourselves, how we control our energy, regulate our energy, the way we respond to other people's energy, how that can affect our ability to deal with conflict. And that was great. So let's continue on.
Well, today I thought, since you were dropping by, we'd talk about empathy. A lot of people confuse empathy with sympathy. Empathy is a really genuine gift of love. It's a gift. And not all of us understand the courage it takes to have be in empathy with someone when they're going down in their challenge state. As you mentioned last week, what happens when I'm just really don't have any energy, I'm down, I'm not necessarily feeling sorry for myself, but those who listen to you feel there's a pity party going on or things aren't working, and we love you. We want you to be okay. And some of the responses I used to use and have heard in relationship, oh, you should have heard when I got into there. What I did is this. And we go on to the story about us, and we don't stay present with the person. That's sympathy. Oh, well, I had that happen to me. It should have happened to me. Well, it was 3 times as bad. And I had 4, and you only had 2. And that kind of response, it denies the person to be heard. So empathy is being able to be present in that bit of fear, dark space with the person, not needing to have a perfect answer, but willing to hang, willing to be there, grubby, dirty, in the hole, and not trying to judge the hole as being right or wrong, but just willing to get in there and say, wow, I'm feeling the pain. I'm feeling the challenge. Not making it right, not making it wrong, just present with you and saying, wow, this is interesting. This is a journey. This is what friends are about. Can hang with you. So the gift of empathy is truly caring in a way that we don't have to have the answer, but that we've had some emotional connection that allows us to get past our ego, to just drop into that and say, wow, I'm important here at this moment, so the person knows they're supported unconditionally. I'm not going to judge them. I've been in crazy situations myself. I might even share one. Wow. I'm here with you, girl, because a few years ago, I got my tush kicked, and if I can only be here for you and have tea with you, let's just hang. Not needing to solve it. Not needing to have the solution. Not needing to pretend there's a perfect answer. And most of all, cease our restless need to fix things and judge. I have spent a lot of my life dropping into these moments when people needed me to be there and wanting to fix it. It happened again last weekend. 2 people sent me emails. Oh, I was in this problem. And I said to my friend, I said, gee, I was almost tempted, just for a moment, to want to fix it. Because it's hardwired, I think. And I actually started to type a fix-it answer. And I said, whew. And unfortunately, I caught myself. So I'm not even free of it myself. But it was in that moment I recognized, no, I can just be present with them. I can say the 4 things I learned in Huna after 6 winters with the Aboriginal, the Native Hawaiian people of, hey, I love this person. I love you. I'm sorry you're in this moment. Thank you for sharing. So I love you and thank you are the 2 borders of empathy.
Why do we try to fix it, John? I mean, what's your thoughts on why we have such a strong kind of driving force to always get to a goal, to make it better, to not just let things be?
I think the word is expediency. I used to think it's because guys are like that, hardwired to fix things and get on with it. And I think to some degree that's true. But mostly the deeper answer is I'm not prepared to enter into that pain and risk myself. It's more courage than I have at the moment, and I'm too damn vulnerable. I'm too vulnerable, too at risk to drop into that because all my fears are exposed.
I see.
Scares me.
Right.
What guy wants to be vulnerable? I mean, really. At some level, I'm okay, but I'm not.
Right. And that's a very human thing, isn't it?
I think it's very human. I think it's very human.
So to go into that space of empathy that requires vulnerability is not an easy thing for people then, always.
It's not easy ever. Because even if you're impeccably empathetic, even if you're impeccably able to drop into the pain, it doesn't deny the pain is there. The pain, people living and dying, people being hurt, people getting cancer, people, children getting sick, all the things that happen still happen. So it's not like we went in there and could fix it and it wouldn't happen again. It's not putting the top on the top of the toothpaste and saying, okay, we'll be very good and do it every day. There's still real hurt and pain in the world, and real people at work getting put down, and real people being bullied, and real people in accidents, and real people getting sick or getting operations gone wrong. And so it isn't like there's a perfect world waiting if we get through the other side. We need to be at peace with the world that is. And the unique gift is that empathetically, if I can, you're into a story about, oh my God, my mother had cancer, and my brother's got cancer. I know I'm getting cancer. I'm sure, or I get sick, and maybe we even do get a touch of cancer. People tell me it's the age of it's part of the aging process now, that as we get older and age longer, that more cancer is more there, and I think the numbers are 1 in 3 now. Maybe they're less, but it's not like 1 in 12, but I do not know a family who hasn't been touched by cancer, for example. So the challenge about empathy is that it brings up the fear that we hold about our own humanness, our own vulnerability, our own whatever. I mean, you see people having operations now to, shall we say, avoid breast cancer and having their breast removed, which takes away the femininity in some thinking. But there's a lot of fear attached to that, in my humble opinion. However, when a friend is there, they're not asking you to assess whether their choices are right or wrong. They want to be supported. They want to know, I'm going to be there with you, I'm going to hang with you, and I'm going to support you. No discussion wanted for whether you're right or wrong, how you got there. It's just that I love you, I support you, you're enough.
How do we bring that kind of courage to our everyday lives? Because it sounds to me like what you're saying is we need a lot of courage to be able to be empathic, even with just those daily conflicts between ourselves and the people that we love, or that we engage with on a daily basis.
Well, courage is doing something we never thought we'd do, and often we don't know it was courageous till after it's done. So it's not like we have this courage meter, and we are building through the practice of conflict evolution. We're building up resilience. We're building up stamina. We're building up a sense of okayness. We're building up a sense of it's doable. We're building up the strength of our inner knowing, connecting to our innate wisdom, that if we do this and follow this process, that we can go into the pain and there'll be a place to step out safely. It doesn't make it perfect, but that's the beautiful thing about empathy, is that yes, it takes unreasonable courage, only to which we can address when we look back. And people will probably tell you, gosh, you were courageous. But in the moment I've read about war, people who came back damaged, who jumped on top of a grenade or protected somebody, they did it well beyond conscious regard. They just had a state of, this is what I need to do. So most people that are held up to be courageous, who stepped at a time of a disaster, pulled a woman from a burning car, jumped into water to save a drowning person at the risk of drowning themselves, it's just the idea of humanity that's within. And we build that resilient core up over time. We build that, innately we probably have some original connection, but we build that through stories we tell, through an ideology, through a thought process, through a sense of feelings of our meaning and purpose in the world. And that's what's so powerful. So we build it just like you. Well, I wish it was as easy as me putting on pounds, but we certainly build it over time as an energy of I can be more courageous, but it doesn't feel like courage. It's just what I do in the moment.
And it seems like, from my experience, certainly of this program, that the 5 steps are sort of like holding your hand, so that you don't have to just jump into the deep end all at once, but maybe takes you from one end to the other, so that you kind of have a bit of stability to go into that place of courage.
So even deeper than that, and a great statement for sure. Out of that, as we have heart energy connected to the mind energy, we're actually building a highway that is more than double. It's exponential in how it works. And what's the beauty of that is that we will attempt things knowing that we can and will be supported from within and from without. And what's important about that is we're willing to risk and try beyond what we thought was possible. Because at some point we're building this resilience, we're building this little inner knowing, this inner sense of security that lets us drop into the pain, knowing full well you're not going to cure cancer overnight, but you can hang there without judging and bring the best sense of wellness through love, through conscious regard, through being present in a way that the people know they're not going to be alone, that they will be loved even if they lose a breast, for example, that they'll be loved if they have a scar from something, that they'll be okay, and that we can do that. And it's really not about money. It's not even about time. It's in those few moments when we have a chance to truly partner with someone, to really drop into their space wholeheartedly, without judgment, without reservation, without comparing. Just be there and sip tea. It can be that simple that people know they're not going to be alone and that they're loved. In spite of all of the challenges of the world, that they're connected. Connected to spirit, to peace of mind, to harmony, to oneness, to unity, to service, whatever comes up.
That sounds wonderful, John.
And it all starts with ourselves.
Thank you.
Thanks for asking.
Thanks for sharing.